Hi guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're gonna see the top 5 mistakes that students make while speaking English. Now, this is a list that I came up with from my personal experience as a teacher. These are the mistakes that I've noticed a lot of my students make. So, with that being said, let's get started and let's talk about number 1. So, the number 1 mistake has to do with translating your own native language into English. Now, this doesn't always work. When students translate directly from their native language into English, it sounds a little bit weird, not very natural, a little bit crazy sometimes. For example, one day, one of my students said to me, "Teacher, my friend has no hair on her tongue." What? We have hair on our tongue? Now, she wanted to use an idiom in her native language that meant that her friend just says whatever she's thinking. She doesn't hold back, she's very direct and honest. But if you're saying this to someone that speaks English, we're not going to understand. Another sentence that I've heard is, "Oh, teacher, I went to the pharmacy and I went to buy some deodorant for my axes." What? First of all, why are you telling me about this? And second of all, axes? What body part is that? So, if you don't want to sound weird or if you don't want people giving you some weird, confused looks, don't translate from your native language into English. It doesn't always work. So, number two has to do with the S. A lot of students forget the S with plurals when using verbs with third person. For example, Erica liked to eat pizza. The right sentence is Erica likes to eat pizza. My brother walked to school. The right sentence, the correct sentence is my brother walks to school. Also with negative sentences, for example, she don't like pizza. The correct one should be she doesn't like pizza. Or sometimes students forget a lot of very important things in their sentences. For example, sometimes I hear students say, "She like dance." No, not she like dance. She likes to dance. If you speak like this, "She like dance," it kind of sounds like a caveman, like you, Jane, I, Tarzan. And we don't want to forget the S's. And we don't want to forget that don't changes to doesn't in third person. So remember your S and remember does and doesn't. Now, number 3 is one of my favorite ones. Not that I like my students making mistakes, but I think it's a little funny. It has to do with pronunciation. A lot of students mispronounce past regular verbs. Now, we know that when we talk about past verbs, we have regular, like, liked, irregular, grow, grew. But when it comes to regular verbs in the past, a lot of students don't get the ending sound correct. For example, many students say something like this: "Teacher, yesterday I cooked chicken. I danced it last night and I laughed it." Now, I understand that they're speaking about the past, but the pronunciation is not right. It's laughed, I danced, and I cooked. So that's number 3, not getting the right pronunciation with regular past verbs. So, mistake number 4. This has to do with articles, with the and a or a. Now, either students love articles and they use them all the time, or hate them and don't ever use them. Now, a very common mistake is with the and countries. A lot of students want to use the in a country. I went to the Korea, I went to the China, I went to the Thailand. And this is not correct. Now, I understand that there's some exceptions. For example, the United States, this is correct, the United Kingdom. But in general, we don't use the with countries. Also, for example, I went to the home. Also with a, a lot of students don't use a when they're supposed to. For example, when we're talking about professions, I'm nurse, I'm teacher, I'm doctor, I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse. Or simply speaking about other topics, for example, hair. This is a really common sentence. I hear it all the time. Many students say, I have a hair. When we say I have a hair, it means that we only have one. And that's kind of weird if you only have one hair sticking up. We say I have hair, I have brown hair. So guys, study your articles, know when to use them and when not to use them. Okay, so we're down to number 5. This is the last mistake. And this has to do with do and make. Students mix these up all the time. I know that in some languages you only have one word to describe these two words, but in English, unfortunately, we have two and we have to learn how to use them. Very common mistakes. For example, I make exercise. It's not make, it's do exercise. I do breakfast. It's not do breakfast, it's make breakfast. I do you happy, which is a little bit strange, but believe it or not, students say this. It's I make you happy. So I actually have a video about do and make. If you're interested in learning the differences, you can check it out. But in general, just really know when to use make, when to use do. It really makes a big difference when you speak English. Those are the top 5 mistakes. Just as a little summary, remember, number 1, don't translate directly from your native language. 2, love your S's, remember your S's. Number 3, remember the right pronunciation with regular past verbs. And number 4, love your articles, know when to use them and when not to use them. And remember how to use do and make. Okay, so that's it. If you're interested in practicing your English, if you want to learn more, if you just want to improve your English in general because you have an interview or whatever reason it is, I can help you. And I will leave a link here so you can find me and book a class with me. And we can talk about your goals and set a plan. So that's it, and I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye bye guys!